Hey, what's going on? This is Paul Farmer, and this is DB Freedom Project Live. Or, I'm sorry, Freedom Project Live, episode 222. What I like to do on these is share with you my journey online, share with you marketing tips, mindset tips, and anything else that I feel would be of value to you. So, right now, just actually last night, I started this new book, and it's called. Let me just pull it up here. There's no plan B for your A game by Bo Eason. Now, on my previous episode of Freedom Project Live, I talked briefly about an interview I heard with Bo Eason with Jessica Higdon, and it really spoke to me. So I went and I got the book, and I just finished the chapter. Oh, by the way, if the sound sounds higher pitched, it's because my mic I had died. I have another one on the way, but for now, this is how it has to be. So hopefully it's not too bad. But I believe that was the issue I was having with all the crackling. So hopefully that is resolved and we'll just deal with it. But all right, so this book, I got this book last night, and I just finished chapter 1. And I'm like, wow, there is a lot of important lessons just in chapter 1. So what I want to do is I want to share with you my takeaways from chapter 1 that we could apply to our lives, that we could apply to our business to have success. And I'm absolutely blown away just from chapter 1. I actually went back and listened to it twice, and I was actually a rewinding as I went because there's just a lot of very good lessons within that first chapter. So I can only imagine what the rest of the book is going to be like. So let me start off. So Bo Eason, he, and again, I never heard of this guy before. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I never heard of him. And so anyway, he was an NFL safety with the Houston Oilers and the San Francisco 49ers. He went on to become a playwright on Broadway for a play that he has done. It's called Runt of the Litter. And he is now a sought-after speaker and coach. So let me just go back. So let me unpack some of this. Let me go back and go through some of these lessons. So the very first thing that stood out to me is when he starts with his childhood, he talks about his dad and how his dad would say to his kids for like 20 years of their life, "You're the best. You're the best." And that's what he would say all the time. It didn't matter if they were playing Little League, didn't matter if they're playing football, didn't matter if they're getting on the bus, didn't matter if they were going on a double date in high school, didn't matter. Every time his dad would say, "You're the best." And right there, that's a huge lesson right there. What his dad was doing was speaking life into them. Speaking life into them. That's a big deal right there. So pay attention to the words you're using when you're communicating with other people. Are you speaking life? Are you discouraging them? He was speaking life. You are the best. I mean, that heard over and over for 20 years, I'm sure, had a big factor on why both of those kids actually went on to play in the NFL. And I'll come back to that in a minute. So that's lesson number 1. Speak life. Speak life, right? Speak life into your kids. Speak life into the people you work with. Speak life, and amazing things happen, right? So that's lesson 1. The next lesson is when he was like 9 years old. He said when he was 9 years old, he decided he wanted to be the best safety ever, the best safety. And he wrote down with crown on a piece of paper that he was going to be the best. Now, this is really, really important lesson right here because this basically sets up everything. So at 9 years old, he decided he wanted to be the best safety, and he wanted to get to the NFL. 9 years old, okay? And from what I understood, he's not a big guy. He was actually, I think when he entered high school, he was like 5 foot. So I could be wrong with that. But at that time, he basically said a declaration. He says he backed out the next 20 years. He's all, the next 20 years, I'm going to become the best safety. He wrote it down and he made a plan. And the thing he said was, once he made that plan, he set it in motion. That meant getting up at 5 a.m. every day and running backwards, because safeties run backwards. So he was practicing every day at 5 a.m. from the age of 9, all through high school. And, he, if there was this is really important to understand this, if there was anything that would take him away from his plan of being the best safety, he did not do it. It was his parents knew not to entertain it whatsoever. That is what he wanted to do. That's such a big lesson right there. That's such a big lesson, because so many of us get distracted. So many of us are like, we start something and we stop, and we go and do something else and we stop, and we start something and we stop. That's such a big lesson right there at becoming great. So he, just to reiterate, 9 years old, made a 20-year plan. And he decided this is what he was going to do. And 5 a.m. in the morning every day for 9 years, getting up, working out towards his goal, right? Okay, so now let's fast forward to high school. He goes through high school. Out of 350 colleges, not one single one of them drafted him. Not one single one of them drafted him. Okay, remember, go back. With 9 years old, he made a plan. He set a goal, and nothing was going to get in the way. So not one single Division I college drafted him. Not one. So what did he do? He's like, I'm not giving up on my dream. I'm not giving up on my goal. He went to UC Davis, and he walked on. He walked on during their training camp and said, hey, I want a spot on the team. So he actually earned a spot on the team. But the very first day, like he earned the spot on the team, the very first day, he quit. I didn't quit. He got cut. So he said, I had my dorm room keys. I had my uniform. He had his meal ticket, whatever. And the very first day, he was cut. So what did he do? He slept in his truck, and he ate peanut butter and hot dog bun sandwiches. That's what he had for dinner. He slept in his truck first night. The next day, he went back to the team. He went back to the locker room, pretended nothing happened the day before, pretended he didn't get cut, and he managed to get himself back on the team. Actually back into practice. They gave him what he said was some old cloth that you might call a uniform, and he wore it. And he practiced twice a day, and for a full month, he slept in his truck and ate peanut butter and hot dog bun sandwiches. Now, I'm going to stop right there, because that right there, just what I just went over just now. See, so many of us, we want success right now. We want it right now. We want it instantly, right? We want it like today. But we don't want to put in the work. We don't want to do the sacrifice, right? I see this all the time online in the home-based business industry. All the time. People come on, they give it maybe a month if you're lucky, and they're like, oh, it didn't work for me, and they're done. This guy got up at 5, 8, 9 years old, writes down what he wants to do. Bo Eason writes down what he wants to do, focuses intently only on that thing, goes through high school, doesn't get any scholarship offers, none, from any of the colleges, takes his butt to UC Davis, which is a Division II football school, like no scholarship program there, and he gets cut the first day. They give him, hey, you're on the team. Oh, no, now you're not on the team. Sleeps in his truck, comes back the next day, doesn't give up on his dream, eventually gets on the team, sleeps in his truck for a month. I don't know. I don't know how many people do that. But that is why he's been able to attain greatness. So he goes on to get drafted into the NFL first round to the Houston Oilers as a top safety, and then he gets traded to San Francisco. Now, he has a career-ending injury and knee injury, and what happens is, for whatever reason, he decides he wants to be the best stage actor to use his voice and use his body to inspire other people, to not so much entertain, but to provide a message to other people, right? So what does he do? He moves to New York and gets around, gets into a school where he's learning how to act and everything. But what does he do? He learns. He asks the students in the class, he's all, who is the best stage actor? Who is the best stage actor there is? And they said, oh, it's Al Pacino. Al Pacino. He didn't know Al Pacino, but he found a way to get a meeting with Al Pacino. And instead of asking Al, like, hey, how do you get rich? Like, how do you get famous? He asked, how do I be great? How can I be the best? That's what he asked him. And the lesson here is go to the top person. So many people, like, we get advice from people that are nowhere near the top. We're taking our advice from people that are way, way down. And I learned this from Bob Proctor too, because Bob Proctor talked about this. He said, you got the A person, you got the B person. The B person isn't getting the results the A person's getting. The B person wants to get the results the A person is getting. There might have been a C person, I can't remember. But yeah, A, B, C, okay? So the C person isn't getting any results, but the B person getting some results, right? So what typically happens is the C person goes to the B person, but doesn't go to the A person. So he went to the A person. He went to the top. And he didn't waste his time. He's like, hey, how can I be the best? And Al Pacino's like, no one's ever asked me that. You are the first one to ever ask me that question. And they told him, it's going to take you 15 years and you got to get on the most stages possible you can. And I was like, that's just, again, sacrifice. Again, time. And he's like, no problem. 15 years, that fits into my plan. I understand it takes time to be great. I understand it takes time to attain mastery. And he went on and he did. And the first stage play he did, the first stage he got on was like for a kids play. It was all kids in the audience. And he had some football players that were in the audience as well. And they're like, what are you doing, man? But he didn't care because he had a dream, because he wanted to be the best. So not only was he the best, like he reached a very, very high level. The NFL is the top, right? And he was only taken out because of his injury. But now he's on to another stage, another career that he knew nothing about before, and he's pursuing greatness there. And anything that would take him away from his plan, would take him away from his goal, would take him away from his dream, is out. Like, he doesn't do anything with that. So he goes on to act on many, many, many stages, right? And eventually writes his own play. It's called Run of the Litter. And I guess that is ran for years and years. And what happened is that led to his speaking and coaching career. Okay, so the play is about how to win in life, basically, even Run of the Litter, right? I don't know. I haven't seen the play. I don't know anything about it. Again, I'm just going by the first chapter. But there were so many lessons in this chapter that are so powerful. I had to share it. So anyway, companies started reaching out to him, go, hey, we want you to do the play for our company. And he's like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But then he finally figured out, like, wow, I can inspire so many people. The reason they want me to come in, it's not for theater. It's because they want my message to permeate the employees, right? The executives, whoever it is that are the company, right? That's what they want. They want the excellence. They want the message. So he started doing that. He has like I said, he has a best-selling book now. I'm going through it right now. That's what I'm talking about. The other thing that stood out to me was, that there's a saying where you earn, or you are who the best, 3-5 people you hang out with, right? And so he was talking about his roommates. So his first roommate was his brother. His brother, Tony, went on to be the quarterback of the New England Patriots and led them to their first Super Bowl. Okay, so that's his first roommate. Top NFL pick. Quarterback ends up going and leading the New England Patriots to their first Super Bowl. Tony Eason. The next guy was let me just check my notes here, was also a first-round pick. This is his first college roommate. He was a first-round pick as well, and he went on to play in the NFL. His second college roommate, third roommate, went on to be a sixth-round pick in the NFL, and his last roommate went on to be a Hollywood producer and Broadway producer. So, it's not that he got them there on their own. Like they did the work, they sacrificed, but what he realized is, by him being the example of excellence, being the example of what to do to achieve mastery, they followed. So that's a guy I'm going to listen to. I don't know about you, but that's a guy I'm going to listen to. That's where I'm at in the book. That's just chapter 1. I mean, there's so many lessons in that chapter. And I can go back to like Think and Grow Rich and apply some of these lessons that Napoleon Hill talked about years and years ago, based on what I'm reading in this book. So it's just, I hope you got value from that, because I got a lot of value. I actually listened to it again. I'm looking forward to the next chapter. Powerful lessons. These are all lessons we can apply to our lives, to our business. If you're an online business, home-based business, whatever, learn to focus on like just to summarize, the lessons are this: speak greatness, set a declaration, decide what it is you want to do. What do you want to master? Because a lot of people don't know what the heck that is. You got to decide on what it is you want to become a master of. Associate with the best, right? So you want to get advice from the best, from the one that has the results you want. That's another big lesson there. And you are who you surround yourself with, So those are huge lessons, and never give up on your dream. Okay, so I hope you got value. If you like to learn what I do to earn some extra income online, actually a full-time income online, go ahead and click on the link right below this video, and that will give you some information about what it is I do and how I do it. Go ahead and feel free to reach out to me. I am a real person. I like to share what I do. I have a private group where I teach a very simple formula that just flat out produces results. You don't need to be doing paid ads to have success with this. It's absolutely free, and it works for anything you want to market. So I give you access to that when you get started with me in anything, right, that I have below in the description. But with that, make it a great day. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you on the next one.